Hey, it's Weighing Wednesday. Again. Yay! Today I thought I would just kind of chat with you guys, if that's okay, or chat at you, depending on how you look at life. I have met some pretty cool people the last couple of days. Last week when I was hanging out in town, I ended up striking up a conversation with a couple of women. It kind of came up that I'm doing vlogging, and they asked what I was doing and what my channel was about. So I explained about, sort of our infertility problems and me losing weight, and they were, super nice. And one of the women, we'll call her Margaret, stands up, and I notice that she's pregnant. And so we start talking about that, and I'm like, telling her congratulations, and, when is she due, and does she know what she's having, and we kind of were talking about her pregnancy a little bit. And then I asked her, is this your first child? And the woman sitting next to me, we'll call her Anne, starts getting tears in her eyes. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I say? And she kind of gets up and she walks away, and all of a sudden I'm starting to feel sort of panicked. Like, what did I misstepped somehow. And I said, I'm so sorry, if I said something. And she says, oh no, it's okay. This is actually my second child. About a year and a half ago, I was 24 weeks pregnant, and my water broke, and my daughter was delivered cesarean section, and then she passed away the next day. We're kind of tearing up, and she says to me, she's like, I'm so sorry to hear about your infertility. I can't imagine what you're going through. And I was completely blown away. I said to her, I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't imagine what you went through and what you're going through. And this is a complete stranger, essentially, that I have just met and started a conversation with. And in those 30 minutes, I felt completely supported. And we don't have the same issues, but yet we are relating to each other on a completely real level. It was really, really cool. And it got me thinking about a lot of things. I think that a lot of times women don't really support other women. And what I mean by that is I've heard of situations where people in sort of my scenario who are having problems getting pregnant will be very bitter towards other women who are getting pregnant. And I get that. I get that there's a level of that it's not fair. And that's true. It's not fair. I would love to be a mom, and that's not fair. But at the same time, it doesn't make what they're going through any less. It shouldn't take away from that, right? Do you agree so far? Okay. Hopefully. I heard about this experience where this nurse was taking care of a woman in her third trimester, and this pregnant woman was sort of complaining about her symptoms. She wasn't feeling good. She was kind of having a difficult pregnancy. And the nurse says to her, you shouldn't complain at all because at least you're able to have a child. That is unfair. That's unfair. We are all going through something, right? And it's unfair to say, I wouldn't complain in your situation, because you never know. I think it's completely, I don't know, I've already made the point, but I think it's just completely unfair to put your issues on somebody else. And I think, again, it goes back to women not necessarily supporting women. I was talking to another amazing person lately who I had an opportunity to meet. Her name is Meghan Tonjes. She's a YouTuber, and I got to Skype with her, and it's cool. She's cool, and she gets it. Women issues. She understands it, and she's really insightful about it. And one of the things that she said to me that really resonated was that we aren't really necessarily raised as young girls. We aren't raised to think of ourselves as being part of a community. We are taught to be sort of competitive with other women and stand out and separate ourselves and be the pretty one, the smart one, the funny one, all of those things to make ourselves separate. If I have daughters, I want to raise them to feel that they are a part of a community of women. I cannot tell you how supported I felt by this complete stranger who has gone through something that I could never imagine going through, and telling me, I'm here for you. I'm sorry that you are dealing with this because it's not fair. And it didn't take away from what she'd gone through, and doesn't take away from what I am going through, I guess. Because I do get really down. I do get depressed. I do want to have a baby. Sorry. More than anything in the world. So it's important. It's important to me that we support each other. And I guess this is a really long way of saying I'm so grateful for the subscribers that I have right now. I feel completely supported, and I want to be supportive of you. Please talk to me. Write me comments. I'm just so appreciative, and this is turning out to be a really, really good experience for me. Moving on, it is Weigh-In Wednesday, and I didn't do great this week. I'm struggling a little bit with the no carbs. I don't know. I don't want to say like, oh, I failed. I did sort of fail this week, but I'm moving on to this next week, and it's going to be a process for me. I want to look back on this journey and say, man, like I overcame things, and I worked hard, and I pushed through, and I didn't give up. And I think if I sit here and I say, I failed, I ate carbs, I didn't do everything that I was supposed to do, then that makes me feel really overwhelmed and ready to give up, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to. So I'm going to just take it for what it is and move on. Thank you so much for watching. I mean that. All right. Goodbye.